Good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone wherever you are in the world. I'm your host, Lolly Handtrap, and today we have a deck that we played at Locals, Fargo, Project CG, Rising Star, whatever. This is a deck that's still in progress, aka it's still in beta. So there will be a follow-up video coming soon to demonstrate the newer version of the deck, like how we did with the PK Orcus deck and also the Rocket Orcus deck as well. And also the Dogmatika deck as well. I enjoy doing these type of videos where it's a beta version because it also shows the fact that there's a progression in deck building, and it's not just like, okay, we slap a deck together and we got it good. No, there's always a process in deck building, and that is why I enjoy reading guys' comments and inputs on like what I could be improved upon. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm doing beta versions of decks and why I'm uploading these type of deck versions of beta, whatever. I can't speak. But so let's just get on to deck profile. So first off, we're going to start with the main deck, of course, like always. And first off, we're going to start with 3 Cyber Dragons, which is the most technical version because it's a Cyber Dragon deck. Most Cyber Dragon decks that are running like an engine in the deck, they usually play 2, but I think 3 is more prevalent because of a certain card. And this is a 60 card deck, so anyways, 3 Cyber Dragon Core, it's your normal summon, it's your add, so that's pretty much why you're playing 3, of course. It's a good Ash bait as well, because, you know, the first thing that people always ask is core. If you have a full play, then you're good. If you don't, you're screwed. Next up is 2 Nashner. Nashner is a pretty good special summon. You don't play 3 because it's searchable as well. Next up, you're playing 1 Hers and 1 Veer. The reason why, because of 1 Hers and 1 Veer, is because of this is just another low-level monster for Machine Do target, and then this is just a chain block. Honestly, you don't really need to play Hers, you can just play Veer instead. I might try that out, maybe not, but who knows. Next up is the 2 Galaxy Soldiers, which is basically, you can play 3 of because of a certain card, like I said. I'll show it later. But yeah, that's pretty much for the Cyber Dragon aspect of things. Next up are your Dogmatika aspect of things, which is 2 Dogmatika Ecclesia, which is basically your special summon. You, like I said in the Dogmatika Zodiac video, you don't really need to activate the effect on special summon because that will lock you out. Special summon it and use that link fodder and Flirterly as well, 2 Flirterly because of it's a, you know, generic negate. And the one thing is you play 2 up, you play 2 because the deck is already tight. You can play 3, 1 or whatever, but 2 is probably the most like average thing you could play in this deck, which is pretty good, honestly. And Flirterly is also a big monster on board, and also helps you get to BLS, and also it's a big monster on board as well. Pretty much it. Next up, are your hand traps. The hand traps of this deck are basically just 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Nibiru, 3 Droll, 3 Gamma, and 1 Driver. So the reason why you play Ash is for the Virtual World matchup or for the Dogmatika variant matchups. Also the Eldic matchup as well. Nibiru is for the matchups against Drytrons, Virtual Worlds, or any other combo-oriented deck. Droll and Awkward is pretty prevalent in this current format against Drytrons or Virtual Worlds as well. Gamma is good against almost any deck in this format that helps you destroy the monsters. Would you side Gamma? Sure, you can side Gamma and play Ghost Spell as well instead. Because Ghost Spell is another card that you could heavily play in this deck, and you'll have 1 extra monster slot for another card that I've mentioned previously. So another Ecclesia, another Veer, or another Galaxy Soldier. Next up are your like 2 bricks of the deck. Basically we're playing the Dragoon package. I honestly don't like the Dragoon package. You can honestly take it out, but I guess it's nice to have, I guess. But yeah. And the reason why I play it in a 60 card deck is because your chances of drawing it are a lot lower. I say that when a lot of times I draw it into it for some fucking reason, but whatever. Anyways, next up are your spells. 3 Cyber Emergency, 3 Machine Dupe, 2 Repair Plant, 1 Cyber Low Fusion, and 1 Rev System. So basically this is a Monster Reborn, it's searchable off of core. This is your fusion, searchable off of core. Repair Plant, you could always add it off of core, or you could be lucky to draw it. It's nice to have if you draw it, it's nice to have if you add it off of core, because it helps you like extend your plays further. Emergency is just a basic add and also Ash bait, and Machine Dupe helps you special summon another Cyber Dragon onto board. Next up are your other spells, your miscellaneous spells, like such as Foolish Burial, and a card that I've been mentioning a lot lately in this deck, Pot of Desires, Pot of Avarice, and basically Pot of Avarice helps you recycle. You can play honestly 1 probably, but 2 is probably the best option because there are times you really need it, but at times you can't really get into it with 1. There are times when you don't want to play 3 because of how you'll often draw into it, and it's a bad idea if you keep drawing into it. Foolish Burial, I might cut. You don't really need to play Foolish Burial, because what is there to Foolish Burial in this deck? Nothing really, honestly. Pot of Desires, you can play a 3 of, but honestly 2 is probably the best option in most control-oriented decks, because you're not really wanting to see it all the time, but it's nice to have to basically thin out your deck and get your resources, or have additional resources as well. So yeah. So pretty much this is a 60 card deck, probably play 3, but most likely I enjoy playing 2, which is a better option for me. Next up are basically more ad cards, which is 3 Nadir Servants for your Dogmatika, pretty much simple. It could also be your back row removal or monster removal as well with the Intis and extra deck, or an extra ad off of Titanic Clad. Next up are your back row removal, 1 Harvey Battle Duster and 2 Cosmic Cyclones. The reason why I play 2 Cosmic Cyclones is the deck is very tight. You can play 3. And then on top of that, what I said, you can just replace extra cards for Twin Twisters as well. Lastly, is your other one up, which is Red Ice Fusion. Red Ice Fusion is just for the Dragoon package. So anyways, onto Traps. Traps are basically 2 Cybernetic Overflow, 2 Dogmatika Punishment, and 2 Infinite Imperm. So basically the reason why you play Imperm, I only have 2 Imperms. I'll get a third someday. Someday, guys, someday. Not really someday, probably not, never. 2 Dogmatika Punishments and 2 Cybernetic Overflow. They're nice to have, but they're searchable. That's pretty much the reason why. They're nice to have, but they're searchable. And then Cybernetic Overflow, it requires you to have Cybernetic Engrave. Sometimes you won't really have any Engrave, but it's nice to have, period. It's nice to have, you won't always see it, but it's searchable, period. That's pretty much it. Anyways, onto the extra deck. The extra deck is basically pretty simple, which is 1 Titanic Clad, 1 Intis, so this is for the Dogmatika portion of things. So your Cyber Dragon portion of things are 1 Chimera Attack, 1 Fortress, 1 Mega Fleet, and 1 Dragoon. So basically your Mega Fleet is basically helps you go against monster decks that summon an extra deck, extra monster zone. It helps you turbo out a certain card in the side deck as well. And Fortress is good to match up against Drytrons in the current format. And Dragoon is nice to have, and your Rampage is for the OTK or the back row removal as well. Next up is the 1 Omega, again, not Drytron, Dogmatika package, and also for your side frames as well, you are able to activate the Gammas during your turns. Next up are your XC's monsters, which are 2 Novas, 1 Infinity, and 1 Zeus. The reason why you play 1 Infinity, 1 Zeus, and 2 Novas, because Nova is pretty easy to summon if you are able to spam your board with Cyber Dragons and recur your resources. So you will go to an Infinity, attack, and then go into a Zeus with the other Nova. Or, you, depending on the circumstance where 1 negate won't do much, but a board clear will do a lot, you go into Zeus using the Infinity. That's pretty much why. And then next up are your Link monsters. 1 Almrush, 1 Link Spider, 1 Anaconda, and 1 BLS. The reason why you play Almrush is for the Cyber Dragon Core, setting your grave, so you can trigger off Cyber Repair Plant. Link Spider is good because of how you are able to, if they Nibiru you can link out the token and trigger off your Dogmatika cards. Anaconda, again, Dragoon package, you can replace it for something else, probably, honestly. And also BLS, because you have this guy who is easy to summon this deck, you have this guy who's easy to summon this deck, and then you have Fleur de Lis, which you can go to BLS easily with the protection effect. That's pretty much why, and honestly, next up, lastly, we're going to go to the side deck, and again, like, subscribe, whatever, if you enjoy this deck profile. I am now streaming on twitch.tv/LionHandTrap. As you can see, we have a new face cam, we have a webcam, everything. We have better stuff, we have a better mic now. Thank you to Head-to-Head Battles for giving me this opportunity to have a better setup. So yeah, anyways, on to the final portion of the deck profile. So next up is basically 2 Lancia. So Lancia basically helps you go against the virtual matchup, pretty much. Next up are 3 Droplets. 3 Droplets helps you negate and also helps you focus onto the OTK. 3 Crackdown. Crackdown is basically just a good card to have your virtual world opponents miss their targets or take their ritual monsters for Drytrons. I mean, not their ritual monsters, their materials, and not allow them to summon their Drytrons as well. Torture Tribute is a board clear. Pretty much a lot of decks in this current format are board heavy decks. You just clear the board when they have a good enough board with no negates, and they're done for, pretty much. And lastly, you're playing some things I want to tweak about is 1 Fortress, 1 Mega Fleet, 1 Gustav, and 1 Liobei. So the first thing is that I've really noticed after making this deck profile is that after this list and after testing it for a while in a tournament, I'm making this video right after my deck extravaganza where I played a Winamat, and there are times where you don't see Liobei. Like actually, even in the side deck, you don't see Liobei at all. You will see Gustav a lot max during time, and it's easy to make with the Mega Fleet for sure. Fortress is nice to have during the Drytron matchup, and the reason why Cyber Dragons is pretty prevalent in this current format is because whenever there's a machine deck in the meta, you will always see Cyber Dragons as an anti-meta deck. And because Dogmatikas are pretty much a free deck, free archetype in a control deck, and Cyber Dragons right now, like anytime they're anti-meta, Cyber Dragons will always be a control deck. No OTKs, control. So in this case, you can either play a variant of hand trap that deck, where you replace your hand traps, some of your hand traps with crackdowns and torrentials for hand trap, or for these traps, or you would play a full hand trap deck like I am playing right now. I enjoy playing the hand trap deck variant, but I want to try the trap variant as well. So the thing is, right, you play the Fortress Dragon just for basically the Drytron matchup as well, so another Fortress on the field, or a Mega Fleet, and then these will help you OTK for game if necessary, and this will help you go into time. For replacements for the Liobei, you can play another Lancia, or you can play Red Reboot. So that's what I've noticed, and that's what I want for you guys to know about. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much for today's video. I will put up the better version eventually once I figure things out. But hopefully you enjoy, and hopefully this is not much of a big change. This is probably a better change than my previous videos I've done. So yeah, anyways guys, next video will be about the Spirit Charmer structure deck and how you will play the Spirit Charmer structure deck for your next extravaganza on January 23rd, 22nd, that weekend. But anyways guys, till the next, bye.